This is Hannibal from the Hannibal TV on YouTube with my weekly review of the points I find interesting in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter. The big news this week isn't from Meltzer's newsletter. Well, and it's not even that huge news, but Jesse the Body Ventura has apparently been released from his WWE duties. They had him doing commentary for Saturday night's main event, which was canceled from NBC and moved to just the Peacock streaming service, which he didn't appear on the last episode. And in previous episodes, they kept reducing his role because he kept screwing up. I personally lost total respect for Jesse because he even wrote a book called Democrips and Rebloodlikins and was always against the two-party system. And then he endorsed Kamala Harris. And I am not political, but by going on and on and on that you're not part of the two-party system, then endorsing someone from the two-party system, it just makes him such a hypocrite. And the way he rambles on. Watch his interview with Theo Vaughn, how much he keeps cutting Theo Vaughn off and just rambling on about himself. I mean, he's not what he used to be. I don't. Apparently, they were paying him. The rumor is $100,000 an episode. So if that's true, he made a crap load of money. Good for him. He used to be great. Seth Rollins is going to be out of action for 6 months after shoulder surgery. Could mean he might be back in time for WrestleMania in April. Boring wrestler, decent quote unquote worker, but boring wrestler. Nick Khan says despite people complaining about WWE's increased ticket prices, they're going to remain, quote, bullish on ticket prices, and they've created a scarcity situation with very few house shows where they want people to pay more money and travel to major markets to watch shows or markets that have tourism funds willing to spend money to bring WWE in. Apparently, their events they're doing a couple house shows Christmas week, and sales are nowhere near what they have been for past Christmas week shows, which is in history the one of the highest weeks in popularity for live attendance for WWE. Nick Khan says, quote, we've increased prices appropriately for the marketplace. That's for the PLEs, Raw, SmackDown, Saturday night's main event, and every other ticketed program. We remain bullish on it, end quote. Total heel comment. Triple H made a public comment this week saying, we don't book shows at WWE for great matches. We tell stories. Well, Meltzer writes in this that he thinks AEW puts on great matches. They do if you like gymnastics and choreographed matches, that's AEW for you. A great match for me is a realistic match. And none of the companies do realistic angles. So they all fail at realistic angles. I know Meltzer is going to tell you, and I do like him, but I don't like acrobatics in wrestling. You don't see it in MMA. It's completely fake to me. A guy like Will Ospreay doing moves that you would never do in a real fight, and a million leg slaps, which again, I trained in kickboxing for 3 years. No one ever taught me to slap my leg. That is just crap. And we keep seeing AEW hitting record lows ratings and attendance to the point where WBD actually lost 1.48 million in just one quarter last quarter. People are sick of the fake good matches. If a good match is let's perform moves that look fake, I'm sorry, that's not my idea of a good match. WWE SmackDown Salt Lake City, Utah only had 4,200 in a 20,000 seat arena for SmackDown, and it only did a 0.20 rating. Raw in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, November 3rd, this Monday, did 6,678 fans. The Smashing Machines is out of theaters. It took in about 20 million worldwide, but theaters take a percentage of that. The movie cost 50 million to make. So they haven't made anywhere near that back. The next Saturday night, or the first Saturday night main event of 2026, is going to be at the Bell Center in Montreal. So that's the next Canadian event. So there was only 4 Canadian events in 2025, an all-time low since WWE started coming to Canada. But Tourism Montreal is putting that on. There's going to be 3 events in Saudi Arabia in 2026, making at least 55 million per event, which good for them to get that Saudi Arabia money. Mercedes Moné looks like she's going to be winning another title November 15th in New Jersey. There's someone from a wrestling company in Malaysia that no one's ever heard of coming to defend a title so she can win another title no one's ever heard of. I actually listened to Wrestling Observer Radio today. And again, Wrestling Observer, they are fans of AEW. Overall, they do have a bit of a bias to AEW, in my opinion. They're definitely fans of the product. They mentioned they're not a fan of this new title that Tony Khan is creating, a national title. They already have a ridiculous amount of titles that aren't over. And there's 2 to 3 title tournaments going on right now in AEW. So there's already title tournaments going on. Hey, let's create another title no one's going to care about. And I agree with them. I heard them say on Wrestling Observer Radio, Tony Khan likes titles and he likes really long shows. And his daddy is a billionaire, so he's just going to book whatever he wants because he's a spoiled rich kid. So he's going to book lots of titles that no one's ever going to give a damn about because none of the titles are over. So the solution to none of the titles are being over, let's create more titles and let's just have more tournaments no one's going to care about. I'm sorry. I'm not interested. Have a great weekend.